Hello, Lucy and Conrad and Caleb. Are you ready for another Fantastic Four adventure? This episode begins a long saga full of several adventures all wrapped together, and it's one of the most dramatic story arcs in all of Marveldom. So I'm excited to get started, and I hope you are too. Well, here's the first issue, and look, it features a flaming, flying, fighting mad Human Torch. All right, so he's going to be the main character, but it all begins in Wakanda with the Black Panther and the rest of the Fantastic Four. All right, Wyatt Wingfoot is also a part of this story. And look, yes, it's the Inhumans. And so we'll see them in this story as well, including the lovely Crystal that Johnny has a hot heart for. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Here we are in Wakanda, and the Black Panther has challenged the Fantastic Four and Wyatt to a baseball game. And so we'll start that in just a minute. I'll point out that the story is titled Whosoever Finds the Evil Eye. What's the evil eye? We'll have to find out. All right, sure you've seen baseball games before. Yes, Conrad and Lucy, I know you've seen some baseball games, maybe Caleb too. And I know y'all are big fans of the Astros, but this time we're going to be watching the Fantastic Four play baseball. We think you'll find this game just a little bit different. And Panther says this will never replace lion hunting, my friends. Well, I'm sure that lion hunting is a little bit more exciting. And the thing is that the pitcher, he says, heads up, kiddies. My knuckle duster pitch can make a bullet look like it's standing still. And Sue says, careful, Johnny. No mitt is padded enough to handle Ben's fastball. Well, I bet that's right. And here's Wyatt and holding the bat. Reed says, take it easy, Ben. Even that titanium bat, which the Panther gave us, might buckle under if you really bear down. Wyatt says, just put it over the plate, Mr. Grimm. And Johnny banters, you're way ahead of him, Benji boy. But he thinks, poor Wyatt, he doesn't know what he's in for if Ben really lets go. Well, we know what he's in for, trouble. All right. Thing, says Panther, you do not really intend to hurl that with all your might, do you? Naturally not. I don't want to toss this overgrown ping pong ball clean through my little buddy's paw. Reed says, play it safe, fella. Better peg it in underhand. Well, maybe you'd like me to roll it to him like an Emmy, like a marble. All right, since this ain't exactly the World Series, I'll flip it to you panty waist style. Timber! And here comes the ball. Rock! What? He hit it! The noise, exclaims Wyatt. It's like a sonic boom when the titanium bat hit that speeding ball. Wow, what an explosion. And Johnny says, oh, feels like I stuck my head between two cannons. That's what I get for pitching underhand. He blasted it clean out of the ballpark. Wyatt says, it's about time. Our team is trailing by almost 50 runs. Well, it figures, says the Thing. How can you beat a bunch of super-powered sweeties like us? There we go. Oh no, says Wyatt. That would have been a homer in any other ball game. But look, Mr. Fantastic cheated. He used his stretching power to snag that home run. I hate to do this, son, but we're down to our last baseball. No excuse. Panther says if Wingfoot can reach first base before you tag him, I feel we should still allow him the hit. Fair enough, but I still, oh, swoosh, and Wyatt slides in. I'm safe. But Wyatt thinks, what happened to him? Why did he topple? Why do you think? Why do you think Mr. Fantastic toppled over? I didn't see anything. Rats, says Thing. I knew something would spoil my no-hitter. And Reed says, you're faster than I thought, Wyatt. I didn't even see you bumping into me. But I didn't, Mr. Richards. I never touched you. And I'm sure he didn't. He speaks the truth, my friend, says Panther. You must have stumbled. Well, Johnny thinks to himself, anyone who knows Mr. Fantastic like I do has to admit that he never stumbles. I wonder what did trip him up. They can't figure it out. Can you figure it out? Maybe you're just getting bushed, Stretcho, teases the Thing. After all, you ain't getting any younger, pal. You want I should bring you some warm milk and a cookie? At ease, Ben, says Reed. I'm not ready to be put out to pasture yet. Besides, I've suddenly found the answer I was looking for. I should have guessed. Well, yes, he should have guessed. You should have guessed. We all should have guessed. I guessed. And there she is. Wyatt says, it's the invisible girl materializing. And Reed says, Susan S. Richards, my own little bride. And she says, I'm sorry, darling, but you were unfair to poor Wyatt. And I certainly agree with that. Well, young lady, perhaps it's time for me to teach you where a young wife's loyalty should be. You'll have to catch me first, and I'll bet you can't do it without stretching your arms out like you did to catch that ball. We'll see about that, pretty girl. Well, there goes the blasted ball game, says the Thing. When he finally catches her, they'll probably go off and schmooze somewhere. What a revolting development. Panther says, never have I enjoyed the company of any so much as the Fantastic Four. You have filled my land with cheer and the spirit of fellowship. And now, in my own small way, I shall try to show my gratitude. Well, I wish he'd show his gratitude to me. Probably means some new technology. Well, looky there. It's a big dining hall with a panther laid out in the middle of it. Hours later, at dinner time, he who is called the Black Panther, who is this hereditary chieftain of the mighty Wakandas, he whose wealth is virtually beyond calculation, introduces the world's most renowned pianist, whom he has flown to his palace for the express purpose of entertaining his colorful guests. And so the pianist says, my next selection will be Grieg's Piano Concerto in A minor, Opus 16. Well, that sounds mighty highfalutin. The Thing is unimpressed. He says, that's a heck of a beat to Frug to. Can't dance to that. Panther says, Mwabu, more nectar for our honored guests. Reed says, it's hard to believe that a scene like this can be taking place in the heart of the jungle. And Sue answers, where the Black Panther is concerned, anything is possible. And a servant offers, will you not have some rare delicacies? Johnny says, no thanks, not now. And Wyatt listens in. He thinks, Johnny's been brooding for hours. I wonder what's wrong. Well, I know what's wrong. He's got his heart throbbing for little Crystal. Wow, there's a whole picture of the dining hall with the panther and the pianist and nice delicacies everywhere. Wow, what a party. And sure enough, there's Johnny dreaming of Crystal. One guest there who does not even hear the magnificent melodies, for his thoughts constantly return to a sad-eyed girl, a girl he can never forget. The nights are the hardest. I keep hearing her voice in my brain, whispering, pleading, calling to me. Johnny, where are you? I'll never stop waiting for you. My Johnny, Johnny, Johnny. A girl unlike any other girl on the face of the earth, and in a land where few have trod. She is imprisoned beneath a barrier which no man can shatter, the barrier beneath which the Inhumans dwell. And there one of the Inhumans says, we shall never stop trying to find a means of smashing this accursed barrier. Even now, Black Bolt returns from his daily mission of gliding around the city, seeking any possible weak spot in the Eternal Zone. Black Bolt, the peerless, fearless leader of the Inhumans, with great power and the ability to fly, but he never speaks. The look on his face is enough to tell us he has failed once more. No weak spot exists. We shall never escape. 'Tis all the doing of Maximus, the now mad brother of Black Bolt. 'Twas he who created the barrier, and only he knows the secret of its destruction. But the secret is forever locked within his maddened brain. Yet, although they know full well that their cause is virtually hopeless, the awesome Inhumans desperately reach out for any faint ray of hope, of encouragement. Karnak asks, Black Bolt, did you find anything at all, even the slightest weak spot in the barrier? And look, there's Triton looking on in his water-filled capsule. And Crystal asks, or have you found the secret which only your brother knows? After all, your brain is as keen as his. Though you are denied the power of speech, your meaning is abundantly clear, says Karnak. We are still doomed to live out our lives beneath this accursed dome. Oh, Gorgon, cries Crystal, if I cannot see Johnny Storm again, then nothing else matters. It is as though my life has already come to an end. Do not despair, my child, says Gorgon. We shall yet find a way. Let us follow Black Bolt. He goes to visit Maximus once more, for he knows full well, as do we all, that only the evil Maximus knows how to reverse the negative charge of his dreaded Atmos gun, and nothing else on earth can shatter the barrier. But since Black Bolt defeated Maximus and regained the throne which was usurped from him, his brother has become a babbling madman. True, Crystal, but Black Bolt is still the power. Trust him, my child, says Gorgon. Opening Maximus's cell door with dexterous fingers, strong as forged steel bands, Black Bolt sees the female whom he loves, the long-haired, mysterious Medusa, trying to cajole the fateful secret from the cackling creature who crouches in the corner. We will not harm you, Maximus. You must tell us how to reverse the negative zone so that... Oh, Black Bolt, I've been here from hours, but it seems hopeless. He either cannot or he will not understand. Ah, says Maximus, I am glad you have come. Now I can show you what I have built. You'll be able to see how clever Maximus is. Medusa says he speaks with the tone of an incoherent child. He lives in a fantasy world of his own making. Show us, Maximus, what have you created? See, it is a metal kite, but it flies without wings, without a motor. I merely adapted it to a polarized anti-gravity capsule. See how it flies? Well, we must admit that Maximus, although crazy, is still very crafty and very creative with his inventions. I forgive you, Black Bolt. I forgive you for taking my crown away from me. After all, are you not my own brother? If you like, I will make a metal kite for you, or I will make you some other clever plaything. Oh, I forgot. You cannot answer. You cannot speak. Or at least he chooses not to speak. I shall speak for Black Bolt, says Gorgon. I know what he would like best of all. Can you make something that can shatter any barrier? I don't think you are able to. So he's trying to cajole, he's trying to trick Maximus into revealing the secret. Medusa knows this. She thinks, will Maximus do it? Will he try to prove he can make it? Or is he too mad? Is it impossible? Everything depends on what happens next. But, unfortunately, we can tarry no longer with the fascinating Inhumans, for back in the eerie, extraordinary electronic jungle of the wonderful Wakandas, the fabulous FF, together with their traveling companion, Johnny's classmate Wyatt Wingfoot, they are preparing to take their leave of their amazing host. And look at all the gifts. Sue is standing there in a pretty frock. She says, Reed, darling, do you see the wonderful gifts which the Black Panther had prepared for us? Imagine the latest fashions from Paris and Rome, here in the heart of the jungle. Reed answers, the chieftain of the Wakandas is a wonderful man, Sue darling. He's as generous as he is powerful, as warm-hearted as he is wealthy. And then Panther says, if my paltry gifts find favor in your eyes, then my heart is happy. You have proven yourselves to be my friends, and the Black Panther does not use such a word lightly. Wyatt thinks, a book of international athletic world records, including an entire section devoted to my father's career. How did he know? Did you know? Wyatt Wingfoot's father was a famous athlete. Johnny is looking at this sonic fishing pole, like something Tony Stark might have invented. Oh, Conrad and Lucy, y'all like to fish? Wouldn't you like to have a sonic fishing pole? I bet Uncle Truett would like that too. Caleb would enjoy a sonic fishing pole when he goes out fishing someday. Well, it only exists in the imaginary Wakanda. And here's the thing, he's got some kind of push toy. He says Stretcho gets himself a whole new set of safari duds, but me, I get some nutty kind of toy or something. I bet Moneybags is putting me on. Well, the Panther says, no, my grumbling, gregarious, gravel-voiced friend, I do not put you on. You hold in your hands the most powerful portable exerciser on Earth. It can generate a force equal to the press of 10 tons for you to test your strength against. I trust it will afford you many pleasant moments of relaxation. Exercise, thinks the thing. That's the one thing I do not need, but I ain't got the heart to tell him that. Instead, he says, yeah, it's the cat's pajamas. It'll keep me off the streets anyhow. And so he presses it together, and he thinks, come to think of it, this gizmo ain't bad, and it's cheaper than Vic Tanny's, whoever that is. But what of you, my young firebrand? Asks the Panther. There is a sorrow I see behind your eyes, a sorrow that you carry with you always. Know you that the resources, the skills of the Black Panther are yours if they are needed? I appreciate that, says Johnny, more than I can tell you, but there's nothing that anyone can do, anyone except me. I'm not going back with the FF. You're not? Exclaims Reed. Reed, I've still got a few weeks of vacation time left from school. I want to return to the Great Barrier and use my flame against it again. I know it's hopeless. I know it's impervious to heat, but at least I'll feel like I'm doing something, and I'll feel I'm somehow nearer to Crystal. I join you, lad, except I promised Sue that the next few weeks would make up for the honeymoon we haven't yet taken. And then Sue says, I suspect that this is one thing Johnny would rather do on his own, darling. And the thing thinks, the kid's really got it bad for that chick. He sure does. But here's a voice that says, not completely alone, I hope. And it's Wyatt. He says, I still have a few weeks of vacation left also, Johnny. Your brother-in-law and sister won't need me tagging along after them. And the Thing has told me how anxious he is to return to New York to see Alicia Masters once more. So if the Flaming Ranger would like an oversized Tonto at his side, sure thing, Wyatt. And if anyone asks, Reed can say they went that way. Now I know the perfect going-away gift for you, says the Panther. You shall need a vehicle, one which can transport you over any terrain in speed and safety. Gosh, that's right, says Johnny. Wyatt can't flame on and fly as I can, but you've done so much for us already. But the Panther is already speaking on his transponder. Black Panther to Section Transport. Hear this. And so then we see the transport, and the Panther says, I shall be eternally in your debt, my friends, and gratitude is no stranger to the chieftain of the Wakandas. The vehicle I give you is but one of many at my disposal. You shall do me honor by your acceptance. Now come, I shall instruct you in its operation. And look, it's a gigantic sphere. I call it a gyro cruiser. No matter how the mobile outer bubble rolls along, the gyroscopically operated driving unit within remains constantly upright. Reed is impressed. It's brilliantly designed, but how is it powered? It contains a magnetic tension element energized by friction. It's the living end, says Johnny. I can't wait to get at those controls. And Wyatt says, apparently the talent of inventive genius is not limited to any one place, culture, or clime. Well, certainly not. And no one thinks that it is limited. Chee, says the Thing. Put 3 holes in it, and you'll have the biggest blame bowling ball on the block. And would the Thing have fun bowling with a big ball like that? A short time later, the dazzling gyro cruiser with its 2 eager young passengers rolls swiftly out of the Wakanda territory, heading for the open desert to the north. Smoothly rolling along like a tumbling tumbleweed. And within its vibrationless interior, Johnny says, so far so good. I'll climb above for a little shut-eye now, Wyatt. Sleep tight, Johnny. I'll spell you at the controls till you return. So it looks like the Panther packed a thermos of coffee for Wyatt as he drives and Johnny sleeps. As the moments turn to hours, it's so quiet in here, so completely still. I find it hard to believe that we're riding through a roaring, deadly sandstorm just inches away. Look, there's the ball, but look outside. A big sandstorm. All through the night, the blinding storm continues until Wyatt says we're safe enough within this incredible vehicle, but I haven't been able to see anything for hours. I'd better waken Johnny. I'll save you the trouble, big buddy, says Johnny. I never thought I could sleep through something like this, but the ship is so insulated, I didn't feel a thing. Wyatt, look at the altimeter. We're suddenly dropping. The meter that tells the altitude shows them that they're falling. The sand must be giving away beneath us. We're plummeting into a crevice, deep down into a hole. We've been falling straight down for minutes. It's no ordinary crevice. I don't understand. It's as though we've plunged into some sort of hidden shaft. But a shaft leading to what? Then finally, we've landed, but we're covered by tons of sand. I can't see a thing. Johnny says, open the hatch. The Magnaforce will keep out the sand while I burn my way through. Sure enough, flame on! And he burns his way out from underneath the sand. Wyatt was right. This is no ordinary crevice. We've landed in some sort of deep underground crypt. That giant bas relief, it seems to be guarding the doorway beneath it. The answer to all this must lie beyond those doors. And I never could stand an unsolved mystery, especially when I've been tossed smack dab into the middle of it. But we're going to have to stand an unsolved mystery because we're not going to follow Johnny through those doors until the next time we start up the conclusion to this episode of the Fantastic Four. And maybe then we'll find out all about that evil eye. Arr. All right, y'all stay with me. I'll be back with the rest of the story later. I love y'all.